Good morning children, welcome back to today's class. So today's session is 52. So far we have finished the chapter nutrition in plants and I asked you to observe the algae and the fungi in the old walls. Suppose if it is raining now, you can go out and you can see wherever the algae and fungi is growing. So in this video I am going to add some pictures that I have observed on the old walls. And I told you to write the homework of this chapter. So take 2 or 3 days time and complete the question answers of this lesson in the classwork notebook one time. That is the homework for you. It may be 1 or 2 days, no problem. But you have to finish the question answers of this lesson and you have to go thorough it. Now we will start the next lesson. Lesson number 11, respiration in organisms. What is respiration? The inhale and exhale of the air is called as respiration. We know that people may survive without food for several days. So it depends upon the individual. Some may live without food for at least 1 or 2 months and some cannot live without food for only single day. But they can go on a fast or hunger strike, but during time that they drink some water or other liquids at least once a day. So if they are on the hunger strike, they won't eat food but they will drink a amount of water. But what about air? They'll drink the water and they'll continue their hunger strike. But what about the air? Can they survive without air? No. Don't we feel suffocated if we don't get air even a short while? So we cannot live without air even for a single second. The process by which air goes in and out of our body is called breathing. It may come in your question answers, in the short question answers or in the finger blanks. What is breathing? The process by which air goes in and out. That means when we are breathing oxygen and when we are giving out carbon dioxide. This type of process is called as breathing. In this lesson we will study about what happens when we all as well as other organisms breathe. So we know that we are breathing the air and we know that we are giving out the carbon dioxide. So what happens when we are breathing the air? How does this process help in respiration? In detail we are going to see in this chapter. Respiration in human beings. Let's first find out how long a person can hold his or her breath. That means his or her, you or your friends, how long you can be able to live without air. For that what you have to do? Use a watch with a seconds needed to time your breathing. That means you have to on a stop clock in your mobile or in your watch. Then you have to hold your breath. That means you have to close your nose. If you don't have a watch, then practice counting at a uniform rate. You can measure the time by counting. Close your mouth and close your nose with your fingers so that air cannot pass through it. So you want to check the respiration rate, then you have to close your nose as well as the mouth and you have to on the stop clock in your watch. If suppose it is not there, your friend has to count like 1 to 3 numbers. Then both you have to do and you have to check how long you are able to do this one by closing your nose and mouth. How long could you keep your mouth and nose closed? What did you feel after keeping your mouth and nose closed for long? So we cannot able to close your mouth and nose for lot of a time. It maybe depends upon individual for only seconds. How many breaths in a minute? Hold a finger under the nose of one of your friends. The side with the fingernail should face the nostril. Ask your friend to breathe in and out normally. What did you feel on your finger when your friend exhaled? So you know that we are not able to see the air with our naked eye. If you want to feel the air, what you have to do? You have to keep your finger near your nose and you have to close one nostril. So the air that is passing through one nostril you can feel by your fingertip. Use this method to find out how many times your friend inhales and exhales in a 1 minute. So by keeping your finger near your nose, you can find the number of inhales and exhales in a 1 minute. Did your friend inhale as many times she exhaled in a minute? The process of breathing in air is called inspiration. So if it is in the classroom, we could have done this experiment. Now we have to do this experiment by yourself. And the process of breathing of air is called as the inspiration. And that of breathing out air is called expiration. This is also an important point. You have to note down or underline it. The process of breathing in air is called as inspiration and that of breathing out of air is called as expiration. Inhale and exhale. The number of times we breathe in and breathe out air in a minute is called the respiration rate. This is also comes in the short questions. What is the respiration rate? So the number of times that we breathe in air and the number of times that we give out the carbon dioxide is called the rate of respiration. Now exercise and breathing. You may have seen that we begin to pant after running or exercising. So do exercise and running affect the rate at which we breathe in and out? So when you are doing exercise, what happens? The respiration rate will be increasing. That is the relationship between the exercise and the breathing. In your opinion, does the air we breathe fills in our lungs that are located in our chest? So in your opinion, does the expiration rate decrease or increase after exercising? So after exercise, the respiration rate will increase. That you have to do practical. Example, if suppose you are running. So after running, what happens? You will sit aside and you will start breathing many times. That means the respiration rate increases. Next, the air which we breathe in fills our lungs that are located in our chest. Where are the lungs located? It is located in our chest. And what does the chest contain? It is filled with the air. In the following experiment, we shall see what happens to our chest when we inhale or exhale. So what is happening when you are taking in oxygen and what is happening when you are giving out the carbon dioxide? Expansion of chest with each breath. Take a length of twine or a measuring tape. Wrap the tape around the chest of one of your friends and measure the width of his chest. Hold the tape lightly and ask your friend to breathe in and out deeply for a few seconds. So you can see in the figure number 3. In this way you have to take a tape and you have to measure the measurement of the chest. So what will be the rate of the chest measurement? It may be some 30 centimeters. So when they breathe in air, what happens? It will become very loose, maybe or 1 centimeter like that. Then when they breathe in out, it will increase the measurement. So do you find any difference between the measurement? There will be a measurement difference will be there when you are breathing in air and when you are breathing out air. The measurement increases when we breathe out and the measurement decreases when we breathe in air. How does the width of the chest change when air is inspired or exhaled? Just I am telling you orally. So you have to do this practically. Take a tape, ask your sister or brother. Then you write the measurement and you have to send me the pic. What is the first measurement and what is the measurement when they have inhaled the air and what is the measurement when they have exhaled the air. The difference also you have to find out. Now how much air in you breathe? Make a measuring cylinder with a 2-liter plastic bottle and 100 ml injection bottle. To do this, pour 100 ml of water at a time in the bottle and mark the water level after each addition. Now fill the bottle to the brim and invert in a bucket or a large container of water. But remember, no air bubble should remain in the bottle after you invert it. Insert one end of a rubber tube into the mouth of the bottle under water. Hold the other end of the tube in your hand. Inhale as much air as you can and blow the air into the measuring cylinder through the rubber tube. Don't breathe in while blowing the air out. Blow out as much as air you can in a single breath. This air will collect in the measuring cylinder. As a result, the water in the cylinder will fall. The reduction of water level is equal to the air you breathe. So this is an experiment that we have to do it in the lab. So after the school reopens, definitely we will do in the lab. Now coming to the next point. Difference between inhaled and exhaled air. Exhale air from your nose on the back of your index finger. Is this air warm? Yes, the air that we exhale, the air with that we exhale will be very warm. Yeah, how does you know? You can feel when you keep your finger near your nose. Now use a syringe to pump some air on your finger. Is the air from the syringe also warm? It is not as warm as the air that is coming from your nose. So you can compare the air from your nose as well as from the syringe. For this also you have to do practice. Take a syringe, empty syringe. Now exhale the air from the syringe on your finger and find the difference. The air that is coming out from the nose and the air that is coming out from the syringe. Now let us do moisture in our breath. On cold winter mornings, you may have noticed that the air you breathe out is misty. So now it's the weather is like that. you can check it in the early mornings. The air that comes from our mouth, it is will be moist. Why does this happen? We shall do an experiment to find out it. Take a mirror, wipe it clean with a cloth. So these are all the experiments we will be doing practically after the school reopens. So far we have finished the lesson number 11. Half of the chapter is complete. Remaining lesson will be continued in the next session. Thank you.